it's Michelle here again with another story time. Today's story is going to be about my frustrating day going shopping and all the things that happen, which may not seem like such a big deal to some, but I've just had it. I've just had it with these crazy taxi drivers and rude customer service. And you go out and you just really want to enjoy your time shopping. Shopping is supposed to be fun. Why is there always a problem when I do shopping, especially when I do groceries? When a taxi is involved, it's a problem. So let's get into it. So my daughter and I take the bus to Wendy's to have a little something to eat before we go and do the groceries. We get there, I order myself a chicken strip combo with a baked potato, and my daughter has a junior bacon cheeseburger with fries. So we go sit down with the food. I take one of her fries and realize her fries are cold. This seems to be a normal occurrence with fast food. They just give you whatever's been sitting there for however long. I start eating my baked potato and I realize my chicken strips are cold and mushy. And I'm just thinking, I know it usually takes 5 to 7 minutes or something for them to cook it. Well, this time they had given it to me immediately. I didn't think of it at the time, but as soon as I sat down, obviously I noticed that the food was cold. Brought the chicken strips back up to the lady working the cash. As soon as I went up towards her, she had such a nasty look on her face and says to me,
"What's the problem? Is there an issue?"
I said, "Sorry, but these chicken strips are just not hot." As I'm saying that to her, there's another woman coming up and she says,
"What's the problem?" And she says, "Oh, this girl, she says that the food's not hot."
I go sit back down, waiting for the chicken strips, and my daughter opens her burger and realizes there's tomatoes on it. Now, she finds them spicy. She doesn't like them. "Do you really want me to take this back?" And she says, "Yeah, I'm not going to eat this." So now I'm feeling like, oh gosh, we're those girls, they complain about everything. I go back up to the cash. As soon as she sees me, she's just like, oh God, looking at me you could just see it in their face. Sometimes the customer service for places are amazing, and you can see they serve you with a smile, even if they're not happy about it. I give her the burger and she says,
"What's the problem?"
I said, "Sorry, I didn't know that this burger comes with tomatoes on it. My daughter can't eat it this way." Now the other woman that came up from the back last time comes up again and she goes,
"Well, didn't you order a junior bacon cheeseburger?"
And I said, "Yes. Sorry, I don't eat fast food often. I didn't know." So she takes it, whips it in the garbage in front of me really aggressively, and then goes back into the back. I go back, sit down, and I say to my daughter, we're going to have spit in our food. The lady ends up bringing it to us, which was really nice. So that's all fine and dandy. That's how our day started, with me complaining about the food, getting pure attitude from these ladies. We leave, we head over to Walmart. First thing I walk into Walmart, is there not 3 huge piles of puke right when you first walk in on the carpet? And they have the baskets that you use over top of the puke. It smells horrible. At this point, I'm like, oh geez, I'm gonna get sick. I'm a hypochondriac. I'm a worrywart. I think I'm gonna get sick anytime I'm around people who are sick. I do have kind of a bad immune system. So now I'm stressing about that. I'm like, okay, let's just get our grocery shopping done. We go sit down in Tim Hortons. I had a tea and my daughter had some donuts. And then we continued doing our shopping. When we're getting ready to leave, my daughter's sitting on her phone and the lady's talking to me about, how teenagers, they're always on their phone. People in general just always on their phone, and she was trying to get my daughter to help, and of course she's saying, "Oh, I don't know how to do it. I don't pack properly." So I said, whatever, it was fine. She went and sat down and I did it. This is the kicker. This is the whole point for this story time. I've had so many bad experiences with taxis and I just don't know what to do about it anymore. I've even called and complained before and they just do nothing. So the taxi driver gets here. He's a different nationality. He's on the phone talking in his language, which I think is very rude to be on the phone. He gets out of the car, comes to the back. I open up the trunk and I start putting the stuff into the trunk. Now, he's standing there, just standing there. So I'm putting the stuff in the trunk and he starts telling me, raising his voice at me and saying,
No, you're doing it wrong. You put the heavy stuff in first.
First of all, how do you know what the heavy stuff is? You don't know what's in the bags. Secondly, like, you're not helping me, so why are you telling me how to pack the darn trunk? He starts taking out the bags out of the taxi and sticking them onto the road because I wasn't doing it correctly. So because he had said put the heavy stuff in first, I started putting in these big water bottles that I buy, and he said,
No, not those. Not those first.
So I'm just like, I don't know what you want me to do here, sir. I end up having to hand him each individual bag for him to put it in himself because he thinks he's, the packing god, I guess. He puts the stuff into the trunk. We get into the car. I'm pretty irritated at this point, thinking like, the whole ride back he's on the phone. We get to my place. He's fumbling around talking about he doesn't have any change. And I'm just like, this guy's been rude to me. I didn't really want to give him a tip, but I let him keep the change anyways. He gets out of the cab, takes my groceries out of the trunk, and puts them on the ground at the end of my driveway. Now, this is kind of a hike to my house from the end of the driveway. I had $400 worth of stuff from Walmart to carry. He puts it on the freaking road at the end of my driveway and then gets back in his cab and drives off. He almost drove over my groceries. There was another time I took a taxi and I kind of got a little insight as to why maybe they don't help me. The one time we were coming home from Walmart, my daughter and I, and the guy, he just stood there and watched me put the groceries into the trunk. As I got in the taxi, my daughter and I were speaking. Obviously, she was calling me mom. At this point, he says to me, "Oh, I thought you two were just two young girls. That's why I didn't help you. But now that I realize that you're an older woman, that you're a mom, I'll help you take the groceries out of the trunk." Like, that's pretty rude. Like, either you help or you don't. Another incident I had with a taxi driver was the time the taxi driver gets to my house. Yet again, he had not helped me with the groceries. And this fucking guy says to me he has no change. I only had $20 bills. The taxi ride was like $11 and something, and I was not giving this guy that much of a tip for just being rude. He didn't help me at all, and now you're gonna tell me you have no change, like pretty much you're forcing me to give you my money. When I'm standing outside of the cab telling him I'm going to call your manager, I'm going to call the company and complain, like, you are stealing my money. You can't just keep my money. Like, I understand if maybe it was just a buck or two, but you're gonna say you're gonna keep almost $10 of my money because you don't have change. And he had the nerve to say, well, you should have had change. That's up to you. No, that's up to you. You're the taxi driver. He says to me, no, you don't call. You don't get me in trouble. Yeah, I'm going to. You can give me my change. Like, he could have even drove to the store, came back with the money, but he just wanted to steal my friggin' money. I ended up calling the company, and of course, nobody cares. Nobody ended up calling me back. I have never taken an Uber. I'm quite nervous just because I've never tried it. Maybe nobody takes taxis anymore. I see a lot of story times on here about Uber drivers. Anyways, I just wanted to vent a little and tell you my story, and hopefully you find it interesting. So thanks so much for watching. If you liked my video, give it a thumbs up and let me know what you thought. Have an awesome day.